Good morning, everyone. Welcome to May 7th, 2026 pre-market. And we're going to talk about oil. We're going to talk about S&P 500. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting tickers on watch for the day. So let's get started here. First, let's take a look at the oil price. Seems like the conflict is in the peace kind of zone right now. There are some peace headlines, at least, that are supporting basically the whole negotiation, and the major disagreement remain around nuclear enrichment limits. That's at least the news, and as a result, the market is reacting to the news. The price of the oil is dropping, hit around like 87, and it bounced back up. It's a demand zone around these areas, but so far we have been seeing WTI, crude oil, all of these tickers are actually relatively weak and pushing back lower. They can hit around like even 84, 85 as well, since it just like hit around these zones and bounced back up multiple times in the last few weeks, last few months, since the conflict started, right? So basically we are at the demand zone on WTI, on crude oil. If you get below this zone, meaning if the whole news and everything kind of confirms the fact that there is no war anymore, the price can even drop heavier after that. But if we just hear like the ceasefire is not there yet, or the war will continue, again the price of the oil will push all the way back up. With this oil price drop, we had the overall market pushing all the way higher in a massive bullish run. This consolidation was basically a time consolidation, that the price kind of consolidated for a while until it reached around like moving averages, and buyers still were there, pushed the price higher. We retested this, we hit this 725, a consolidation, and then boom, another jump all the way higher yesterday. Now, a couple of economic events for the day are Q1 productivity came in weaker than expected. Unit labor cost came in better than expected, and initial jobless claim were better than expected as well. And AI and semiconductor is obviously basically the key market driver, and a lot of AI related stocks are just flying. With that, I think that would be it. The US and China may begin AI focused talks. ARM is down pre-market, and APP is higher after beating earnings, and Dash is sharply higher as well after beating earnings as well. So a couple of economic events or reports, and a couple of earnings for the day. Now let's talk about the overall market, and we'll go over a couple of ticker symbols that I think are presenting some opportunities for us today. SPY at all-time high, massive rally yesterday, and it just continued pushing all the way higher after early morning consolidation. The price pushed all the way higher, hit this 730 zone, broke, retested, held there pretty strong, and then pushed all the way higher and hit this 734 35 area. In the pre-market today, we are holding above yesterday's high, which is super bullish and strong. We had this weird price action that when I go to a smaller time frame, I can just see it just happen in like a minute. So the high of pre-market is around like 736 for me. I won't be just probably focusing on 738. We'll pay attention to 738 price action as well, but we'll keep this 736 as the major level. With this massive rally and basically gap up in the pre-market, I would be expecting some sort of consolidation like what we experienced yesterday after we technically started rallying like once around like 10:30. We broke this pre-market high, which it wasn't technically a massive rally, but then technically the move started around 1 p.m. yesterday after the breakout, the retest of this level, and then continuation to the upside. It's possible to see the same thing on today's price action on SPY as well. Now, 734 would be the key demand zone. If we break it, if we push back down lower a little bit, we can hit this 732, 733 zone, and that level may hold. If that level can't, again, we can hit 730, and that level may be the next major demand zone on SPY, right? Basically, what we are seeing right now is a relatively massive rally on SPY overall. Okay, so let's take a look at the Qs as well. Again, the same sort of price action. Qs consolidated in like April 24th till 28th, 29, and then finally we broke this structure and pushed all the way higher at all-time high. Again, yesterday we had pretty much the same kind of price action on Qs as well. We pushed all the way higher, hit this R3, and then bounced above it, which was basically the high of the day at that moment as well, and then pushed all the way higher. In the pre-market, we're holding this range of 698 and 693, 694. This zone would be the key zones, like 698 and 694. Obviously, the all-time high is a very key important area that we'll be watching, and the demand would be around this 693.4. If that level can't hold, we can push down till 691, and then we can hit 687 as well. All right, so that would be the next major level that I would be watching probably. All right, so for both SPY and Qs, I would be expecting some sort of pullback first, and like what we did yesterday. We pushed back down, but technically in the pre-market, retested the after hour zones, retested one of these demand zones, and then bounced back up. So I would be expecting the same sort of price action for today as well, possibly retesting this 693 or possibly retesting even 690.91 and then bouncing back up on Qs as well. Talking about some individual tickers, Apple. I mentioned Apple's price action is looking pretty solid and strong in the after the earning, right after the earning. I mentioned that if it holds here, we can bounce back up, and we did. 2 days ago we bounced above this 275. Yesterday we continued the move, and now we are at all-time high on Apple. Pretty interesting price action, right? This is all-time high on Apple. So Apple definitely on watch. Obviously above all-time high, this 289.5, around this 299 level. That's obviously the key level. And the previous high of this 288.5, 289 would be also the other key zone on watch for Apple as well. All right. So one of the most important names probably for today, Tesla. Tesla is actually looking pretty solid. After multiple days of consolidation in this structure of between like 384 and 364, it finally broke, hit above 384.5, and now for 4 days it was holding around this 384 and 404 zone, this zone, right, in this structure. Finally, we're breaking out of that zone. Finally, we are pushing all the way higher. We actually hit above the 200 SMA, and in the pre-market, right? In the pre-market, we broke above this 200 SMA, which is right at this 43.5. and we're holding right above it in the pre-market. We have a resistance zone right on top of this 409, 410 level. So around this 410 till 15, that's a relatively strong resistance zone. So I would be watching Tesla to see how it reacts to 407 zone, which it is right now, all the way up till this 410. And then depending on how it holds this zone, this can be a really strong move, because Tesla was obviously lagging compared to the whole market and a lot of other tickers. It has been lagging, and it was just been consolidating for so long here. So I would be watching Tesla for a possible breakout of this zone. It might retest this. If it can push all the way higher above this 410, 407, all the way up till this 410 area and hold, we can hit this 415 and then around 420 and then go for 425 on Tesla. Another scenario is a rejection, push all the way higher, rejecting, and that's something that like Tesla can do, because the price action on Tesla is like usually has lots of ups and downs, and you need to be pretty careful trading Tesla. If you don't know the price action, it can be a little bit tough to manage the position. So be careful around that. I would be watching this 403, 404, 402, 403 zone on watch as well on Tesla for a possible hold. If it doesn't, again, we can push all the way back down. NVIDIA yesterday broke out of this zone, like of the prison zone that I don't like to trade, which was pretty interesting, right? We broke all the way above this zone and held pretty well, bounced above this zone around like 11:15, and now in the pre-market we're holding right above this 207-ish area, which is pretty interesting. This is the zone that I had previously. We broke out, retested, and we're holding right there. Pretty interesting price action. I liked how NVIDIA totally broke out of this structure and is looking super strong again. So above this pre-market high level of like maybe 210, definitely on watch NVIDIA, and watch above this 210 for a retest of maybe 211 to 212. That's a pretty big resistance zone around there. We break it, we can hit all-time high again. The key demand zone would be around this 204, 205 level. This 207 is also important, but the key one would be this 204, 205 level, which is basically yesterday's zone that it held pretty well, and it held in the after hour, and now it's holding the next previous resistance zone of like 207. So 207, 204, 205 key demand zones. The resistance would be around this 210 right now, definitely right around these areas, right? Definitely the whole 212 zone would be on watch on NVIDIA as well. Google, again, super strong. The movements in the like when the market opens is not really super clean. It wasn't really super clean the last few trading days, even though it's just pushing all the way higher. But overall, the intraday price action is super choppy. Like look at yesterday's price action, right? And also the other day on Tuesday, it just rallied in the first like 10-15 minutes and then reversed all the way back down. And then because of the news, it pushed back up all the way higher. So the price action isn't that clean, but still keep it on watch. It's at all-time high. I would be watching it for a break of this 404 and for possible hold of this 399. If it can't, we can push all the way back down till 394 and then 387 on Google. AMD reported earning, gapped up heavily, and now we're just consolidating after this massive gap up, which is pretty healthy and normal. So the key zones, again, still it's like 430, 31, and then 403, 404. These two zones would be the key support and resistance zones that I would be watching on AMD. Nothing to really trade or focus on if it just stays in this range. But if it can get out of this area, definitely I will be watching it for possible continuation or a possible gap fill. We'll see. Both of them are pretty interesting. Now, I do not think the gap fill will happen soon. We probably need some sort of, I don't know, catalyst, because the whole AI and semi sector is just like, it's like on fire right now with all the news and everything, and also the earnings. So there is no reason for the price to just drop all the way back down. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if we'll get a reason for the price to push all the way lower. And this hold confirms the fact that the buyers, the bid is super strong on AMD. Meta is just like holding and holding and holding. I like that it just like holds pretty well. The volume on this push back up higher yesterday was pretty strong as well. So definitely I would be watching Meta for a breakout of this 620-22 zone. And if it does, we have a gap. We have a massive gap from 622 all the way up till 664, 65. That's a big gap on Meta, and it's holding super strong, right? It didn't break below 600. It slightly broke and hit 598 and then pushed back up higher and had this massive reversal. So definitely on watch. Meta definitely on watch for a possible bounce back up and continuation and filling the gap. So we'll keep that on watch. Microsoft is also holding pretty well. I like the fact that it's just like holding strong, and if you see the change of structure technically happen, we were in this lower high kind of structure. We broke, pushed back up higher, retested 50 SMA, and now we're just holding above this zone of like 411 pretty well. I like how it overall holds. The weekly chart also looks pretty interesting with this reversal and then a consolidation. I think Microsoft is getting ready for a possible bounce back up and continuation. We'll see how it works. The earning is already reported, so we don't have any unknown catalysts for Microsoft except some like random news. So possibly a breakout of this 424 can push the price higher for a retest of this 432 and then potentially all the way higher. It's going to be a little bit tough. This 431.2 would be the key resistance zones. If that breaks, we can go all the way up and retest possibly around this 450, 460 areas. MU. Wow, MU is just MU is different. So MU retested pretty well yesterday. Look at this beautiful retest on 4-hour chart. We just rallied. Beautiful retest. Just consolidation. Nothing crazy. No major reversal. The buyers are still there. And we're holding. So a consolidation is necessary. Was necessary. It happened technically yesterday. And yeah, it just has the strength. So I would be keep watching MU for a possible breakout of this structure, maybe breakout of this 668, 670 zone. A breakdown below 630 would also be interesting, but like AMD, we would need some sort of reason for these semiconductor names to push all the way back down. For now, there isn't any major reason, and it's just like going all the way higher. It's going all the way up vertically. It will push back down. Nothing can just go up and up and up without any pullback. It will finally push back down. What we just need that time, that the reason, the catalyst, something, so that these names can pull back. Amazon, not really that interested on Amazon's price action anymore. Tried catching Amazon the last couple of days. Doesn't really move really that well at all-time high. We'll be waiting for a clear break above this 279 to 80 zone, and then decide whether we want to trade it or not. PLTR, pretty interesting price action. It had in the last basically 2 days, it pushed back down, below this 134, and then it just tried to retest this 130-ish level. It didn't hold and pushed all the way back up higher. On a 4-hour chart, we're just seeing this massive sell-off after the earning and the retest of this 135, 136, 137 zone. Let's see if this level holds or not. If the price breaks out of this area, then we will be able to push back up higher and then retest maybe moving averages. And if it continues going higher, 149. It's in a relatively tight zone. And if it rejects this 135 area, 137 area and push back lower, I guess that price action would be a little bit more clean. And in that case, we can retest this 126.7, and that would be the short scenario on PLTR. Netflix actually filled this whole gap. So yeah, I was trading, I guess, something else, SPY or PLTR. Yeah, PLTR. When Netflix was filling this gap, this was something that I was looking at for a while, but I didn't trade it, unfortunately. But it's just like, it's okay. So won't be really watching Netflix at this point. Nothing to be interested in at this point. We'll wait for the price action to react to these areas, either push back up higher or continue the sell off, and then go for it. But the key names on watch would be, first of all, Tesla for a possible continuation and break of this 410 zone and hold around those areas. Apple is at all-time high. We'll see how it reacts to this all-time high and how it holds this 287 all the way up till this 289 zone. Nvidia looks pretty interesting. We'll see how it reacts to 210. And what else? Meta, I would be watching Meta, probably not for today, we'll see, but for basically a breakout of this 620.22 for the next for today or next couple of days. And also Microsoft for a possible continuation, especially if it can break out of this 420. It can hit 423.4, and then the next level would be around this 430. These would be the key names that I would be watching for today. All right, so let's get started with the live trading session. The market is going to open in it's open like in seconds, and anyone who is on YouTube, I will be trading live with the team, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube live stream.